Let me, while we get a few of these house things done. There's a couple more.
Where are you? I couldn't find you. I looked around. You're special. You're in.
Oops. All right.
That's right. I mentioned that yesterday.
All right. Now we're live.
Oh, I think you're muted, DJ, by accident.
Yeah.
Oh, now I hear. Yeah.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, my fellow friends. I have taken a little bit of a break, and I'm finally making it back online with an amazing tequila. If you haven't heard of it or haven't tried it, it's Zumbador Tequila, and it is truly a masterpiece for the price point, and even take the price point out of it. I mean, honestly, it's just a really, really good tequila and very, very enjoyable. But it is very affordable and should be one that you guys should look for or even order online, because if you get a few things, it works out really well. You don't feel like you're breaking the bank, buying the bottle of tequila and paying for shipping and so forth. So it is one that I would recommend picking up, even if you don't have it locally. And I'm sure that they can point us to an online store that they would recommend at some point. I guess let's start off with that. What states are you in? And I know you've been killing it.
Yeah, we are currently in. First of all, CJ, honestly, thank you for having us. Like, we're so thrilled to be here. We wanted to live with everyone, so we appreciate you reaching out, wanting us to be a part of this. Thank you so much. Sorry if there's a lot of background noise. We apologize for that in advance. But as far as the states we're in a lot of the Northeast states. So Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, Maryland, DC, and Delaware. We just launched this past week. We're also in Georgia and Tennessee, working our way around the country. We're in Louisiana, we're in Kansas, Missouri, California. We're launching Texas September 1st. We're also in Washington, Minnesota, soon to be a few other states to come. So I think by the end of the year, we'll be in a few others. But that's where we're currently distributed. And you can purchase us online. There is a link if you visit zumbadortequila.myshopify.com. You can buy anything online and have it shipped straight to your door.
Awesome. And I know you mentioned Texas. Is there any other states that you guys are looking to open up before the year's end?
Yes, we'll be opening up Florida before year, likely Illinois, potentially Arizona, as well as Arkansas is in the mix. Kentucky's in the mix. So there's definitely a few others mix that we're speaking to.
Awesome. So, okay, Roberto, it's your turn. So, tell us the story behind the brand, and what was your first influence to make you want to start this brand and go on your own?
I didn't listen. The last part. Could you repeat, please, CJ?
Uh, what made you want to start this brand and create this as your own?
Okay. First of all, as Sarita was saying, happy to be here with you, CJ, and thank you for having us. Oh, my personal story starts I'm from a tequilero family and agavero family, and I got in love with all the agave stuff and with the stories of my family. We started building the El Sabino distillery in 2020 with the construction on 2023. The last semester of 2023, we started to make some proofs on the equipment and stuff, defining our profilings. And in 2024, we started with our own brands. Zumbador is a really special brand for me because it's a special project. As many know, there is other brand in Mexico that it's my way to say thank you to my father and my grandfather. But Zumbador is a personal project, and if we did a little bit of research about the Zumbador. Zumbador means hummingbird. In Mexico, we name it colibri, but in southern Mexico and in Central America, the Zumbador means hummingbird. But and we love history. Zumbador used to be, or the hummingbird, the animal that connects every person in the actual historic moment with their ancients and with the wise of the ancient part of every person. So it's also really special because I feel the connection to my father, grandfather, and my great grandfather. That's the very long story short. You know, and talk about these 2 hours.
Oh well, you're more than welcome to. Uh, I'm curious because I think I know what family you're related to. Do you care to elaborate?
Your family that you're related to.
Yes, I'm related to the Camarena family, which I feel so proud with them. I was really close to them. I saw them get big and fight to all these big transnational owned brands and make a space for good people trying to do great products and great quality out there. Doesn't matter. And I'm really proud of that story of the family, and we are trying in Atel Sabino to follow those steps.
So, since your family's been so involved in tequila, what was your first experience with either being in the distills or the fields?
I started on the fields with my grandfather since I was 2 years old. When I become getting older, I used to be in a different distillery, family owned, every weekend, or because we were sending agave on ourselves, or just visiting family. So I've been always enrolled to this world.
And you've obviously tasted a lot of different brands, working with the family and obviously picking up tips and tricks on potentially something that you want to do, which I would assume is in the bottles that we have in front of us today. Uh, how long have you been planning to
Sorry?
build this? How long have you been planning? How long did it take you to create the flavor profile with all the knowledge you've learned over the years?
It's a funny story because I will tell you it's not finished yet, although we have it in the bottles, but we are always trying to get day a day better. So if we see the Zumbador tequila as unfinished diamond that we have to polish every batch we do, so we are trying every time to get better. Sorry. And When we started making, first of all, as you know, Zumbador has a part of Tahona and part of roller mill, part of wooden bats, part of steel bats, part of it's steel in steel steels and part in copper steels. So the first part was obtaining everything in a complete different profile, that it was what we have to start playing with the profile. Then we have all these brands that we all love, that where we were trying to get nearby, but with our own touch. We don't repeat anyone's tequila. And then in the second part, at the first we received like between 10 and 15 different profilings, 100% on every process we have installed. Then we started trying to achieve, to get close to the brands we love and that we look up to, in order to start blending this process with the steel, copper, with the wooden bats and everything. And we finished like with 500 different profilings. Oh, and there were a lot to work with. So we had a final tasting in order to decide which were the closest ones, and we started developing those closest, but now with the process, not only with the finished product, in order that we can start blending in the process too. And that's how Zumbador was born. And thank you for asking me, because no one has asked me this question before.
I'm more curious on, learning the process of it. I mean, since it's your own distillery,
Yes, it's my own distillery.
so it's not like you had to go out and sort out a distillery to do the process for you. You have full control. So, I mean, that's a big commitment that a lot of people don't chew.
Yes, and we are agave and tequilero freaks. So if we have to stay in the distillery 36 hours, we do it, you know? Because I have to tell you that my partner in that distillery is Juan, is my uncle. He's been making tequila for 40 years, and that's why we have a part of experience. Of course, we're still learning every day, but that's why we started with good products. But our way of view this industry, it's first of all to get better every day and to go the way all the way back to basics. And that's why you were telling us about the pricing and stuff. There is no way we can start a brand without being there, because we want to be the people's choice. We want to be
Mhm.
that versatile tequila that you can sip it, that you can go into margaritas, and to be a no-brainer for anyone, to help us see if we are doing things right. And tequila is supposed to be shared, and it's easier to share a 25 $26 bottle than a 50 or 70 that has to go just direct into the safe.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And again, at the price point, it does make it super affordable, and to where, if you want to make a amazing ranch water or something, you're not going to feel bad by pouring this very expensive tequila in there. So, I mean, I think you're creating, sips on lips, and, getting people to try it without feeling any kind of regret. And I highly recommend it. I mean, it has amazing characteristics to it. It's very well balanced. And the thing that I really enjoy about it is it's not so silky smooth that you don't feel like you're not drinking tequila. It's just got a little bite on the tongue that you're drinking, a spirit, but it's not overpowering to where it just blows your tongue or your palate away. Uh, it's amazing for that, for sure. And would with that fact, it makes it even better in a cocktail, to where you got, again, tequila in it, and it's not all washed out by all the other ingredients. So what was the main inspiration? I mean, so I assume that the agaves are coming from highlands.
Yes.
Yeah, so all of the agaves and the inspiration, it's going to be a little bit romantic. Please, if everyone has a tequila, please have a sip. No, no, no. But I was born into this family, and I was between two worlds. That it was Mexico City and the Jalisco Highlands, and I used to travel with my grandfather and my father all the weekends in order to see our own ranch, to see the agave plantations and everything. And I got in love with that world. But I had this other part in Mexico City. But as I started to grow, or I was starting to get older, I always found like this is beautiful. This is the most beautiful place. I always call it a little piece of paradise.
Hmm.
And I wanted to belong so bad in that world that I began starting asking questions about everything, you know. And I belong to a really good family. They weren't. They were willing always to help me to whatever I want to do, and that's why I look up to them. But of course, I wanted to have my own tequila out there. You know, it's beautiful what they did. I used to go with all the visits and everything when they started all this. I can name fight against these big transnational corporations in order to people to know that tequila was more than a label, more than a bottle, and everything. So I just fell in love, and that's why I'm so thankful with life, with my father, with my grandfather, that I have the opportunity now to have my own distillery and to have our own products out there to continue sharing that love that my family is being sharing for a long time now.
So, did you go to school to help refine any of this, or was it all from family teaching?
Its most has been family teaching. I don't have many time to go to this. I would love to do them one day, but I got into the sales for hard. You know,
Yeah.
I know all the basics because I've been all my life into that world. But it's been okay. You want to learn? Come. And we used to pass with my uncle Juan 15 hours distilling, and he started teaching me everything. And it's nothing like the theory.
Explain more on that. Why is it not?
Because it's an easy answer because every equipment is different. Right now we have 8 to 9 seals, and every seal has a different boiling point that you have to put them in order that you could boil your mosto to obtain the ordinario or the tequila. And it's different if you are in your first distillation or in your second, and everything changes in order if what you are looking for, you know. So the theory tells you to go 90 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Celsius and left it for 4 hours, and then you have to cut the heads and the tails. But we are old-fashioned, and we are always tasting the product in the steel to know where to cut, because there are some parts that are dispensable or really important to have in the tequila, you know. But you don't want anything of the part that doesn't have to come. So it's different than the paper, definitely.
No, absolutely. Uh, um, when you were visiting, okay, actually, let me ask a different question first. So, what was your first experience on drinking tequila? Since you come from a family of,
Okay, yeah, I'm getting people in trouble with answering this question. No, no, but of course, it was really young with my cousins there in Jalisco. We started drinking like 11, 12 years. And for me, I have a really good comparison because it's weird. But when I try a really good tequila, it remembers me when I was a young man and I used to go and visit my family, you know?
yeah, absolutely. It's like Thanksgiving Day all over again.
Good tequila makes me have the most beautiful memories I have.
Oh,
Yes, absolutely. great friends, great people all around, and tequila makes everybody happy.
Happy juice. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm seeing in the background, is that the anejo version?
No,
No,
that's
this
No.
is the leader.
this was actually our first product, our first SKU into the market. It's a little bottle. It's just the same juice than the 750,
Mhm.
but this is a little presentation. And after we run out of this darker blue, it's going to be a light blue like the 750.
And
Gotcha.
then also the lid is going to change to a cork lid.
Okay,
Yep.
awesome. And when can we expect an anejo?
I think it's going to be shipped in 2 weeks. So in 3 to 4 weeks I think it's our timeline.
Awesome. And is there certain states? Did you make enough for all the states that you have now to be distributed through?
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
we
Thankfully.
prepared since last year having all those añejo because we are looking forward and we think we are doing good things. And I would rather to not sell a single bottle to have a single client wanted to buy and not being able to send it to him. You know.
Absolutely. So you got an amazing product, and you have done a killer job on getting it out to the masses already. How did you two meet?
It was live. I'm sorry if you want to answer, but
So we actually were just talking about this earlier, but so I'm part of Lighthouse Imports, so we're the importer, obviously for the U.S. And my boss Jay Ferry and I started Lighthouse a little soft launch last year, but really went full force this past January. And it really started about 2.5 years ago, where we knew at some point we were going to start our own import company, and in transaction with that, wanted our own tequila. So we have a partner in Argentina who had we used to import a my previous import company, we used to import an RTD brand, and through that RTD brand, that person knew Roberto and knew that we wanted to start a tequila, so put us in touch. His cousin brought us physically samples from Mexico for us, for Jay and I to taste 6 different samples. And honestly, see, every single was like better than the next. And it was really a hard decision to make because we were like, wow, this has this and this has this. And then we took about 2 weeks to finalize the distillate, in which is the Zumbador Blanco as we know it today, because we figured we needed something that was obviously going to be great quality, but something that the masses were going to be attracted to. It had enough of pepper notes, had enough citrus notes, floral notes, had enough of everything that it was going to make it a full rounded product. So really, that's how the partnership happened. And then we finally met Roberto last year. He came to New York and we spent a few days together, actually in the same part of Brooklyn that we're sitting in today. And it's a little full circle in a lot of ways. And we launched Zumbador the next month. So we did launch Zumbador in April of last year, and then it wasn't until really this year that we started expanding and really building partnerships and programming with our distributor partners around the country.
and I want to complete CJ because it was live. I told you I'm a romantic, but it was live because it's really difficult in life to find another group just willing the same. Because when we were discussing about pricings, we know maybe our tequila could be priced a little bit above, but we were looking for the same because we've noticed that there is no a good option into the low tequila pricings. And we talked and we said we're going to do whatever we want to do to have the best quality we can at the best pricing. And that's very difficult to find, not in this business, in life, you know?
No, absolutely. And that there was a trend about, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years ago, where some very inexpensive very good tequilas came out, and then of course COVID hit, and then things skyrocketed, and nothing really came back down. But now we're starting to see this new trend again, where some amazing, very affordable, very obtainable tequilas are starting to hit the market again. And I would put yours right up there on the top of the list, far as some fabulous tequilas that every time I get together with somebody who hasn't tried it, I pour them some, and it's like, you got to try this, and everybody falls in love with it. And locally, thank God we have a really good distributor that's doing well on getting the word out and getting it distributed very well. Um, just need to get a few more liquor stores around me to pick it up, so that way I don't ever have to worry about running out.
Thank you. That's amazing. That's amazing.
And he's also hit me up a few times. I guess he did a barrel pick with you guys,
Yes.
and you sent him, like, I don't know, 12, 14 different samples, and he goes, do you want to come over and help me pick them out? And it's like, unfortunately we didn't get together, but I hear there's another one coming, so maybe we can do something, and or maybe CJ Agave can have a barrel pick.
Yes, definitely. That's an option.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate, again, having that transparency, working with good people. It's very communicative as far as how we build everything we need. Anything we need, we reach out to Roberto, and he's very, very responsive with anything we need. So that's a consistent effort, I think, on both parts. But barrel picks, especially, we're starting to see them pick up. I think the first batch you sent us, it was like 20 different samples. I know there are 3 coming to Kansas, one of which I'm trying to think of the names off the top of my head. I think one is an on-premise account, and then the other 2 are off-premise, or it could be reversed. But there are 2 retailers, or either 1 retailer, 2 on-premise accounts. Regardless, there are definitely 3 coming to Kansas, and there could be more. You could have your own CJ Agave pick. That would be amazing.
No, not that you can. Now it's a must that CJ Agave has
Yeah.
its own single barrel,
True, yes. See.
I would very much be grateful for it. Yeah, I mean, it's a blast. I know it's a good time when doing it. I like to invite friends over, and I get very OCD. I actually built a program to help me formulate all the different brands, just because it really gets down to minute notes that may tip one over than the other, just so I can continue to pick that favorite one that I also think that everybody else would like as well. So yes, that would be amazing. And along that same note, Kansas City, Missouri's got a phenomenal tequila offering, and if you guys ever come to the area, I have many places that we can do tequila tastings to let you get in front of people. Because again, it's putting you in front of people and telling the stories like we're doing today. I would hope that you guys would come and experience what we have here in Missouri. And I know nobody thinks about Missouri and great tequila, but we actually have some of the best tequila in the country here, right here in the Midwest.
That's great.
So
Yeah, we'd be totally down for that. That'd be amazing, because that's what it's about, really building connections and relationships with anybody who's willing to listen to us, because the category is so flooded. So if someone knows a little bit more about something else and is willing to try Zumbador, purchase or repurchase Zumbador, we are forever grateful.
awesome. So Roberto, going back to you, where do you see the brand going here in the next few years? You continue down this path, create another spin-off of it?
Okay, well, that's a hard question that almost every tequilero could answer. But I'm going to tell you, I'm so happy with what we've done. don't have a complete natural year in the market, so we can start playing with numbers or making goals or stuff because it's our first January December year. But we will love to be, as I was telling you, an option in the whole country that people doesn't have to spend that much to have a really good quality tequila, and we would like to be a reference in the industry on things because of quality. Because a lot of people always inquire me, why the pricing? How do you manage to do the pricing? And as you know, we're a vertical structure, which is so important for this business because we're investing on the brand, but we are investing on people to drink good quality tequila. So of course we want to be a reference in the future of how hard competition is. As my family has done for many years, I want to do my part in this industry.
So now let's talk about the process a little bit. You
Yep.
said you have 6 stills. It sounds like you have Tahona, roller mill. Uh, what age range is your pinas in, and what is the bricks level that you usually try to obtain?
Okay, we used to use only 5 years or older in order to do our Zumbador productions because we select the best that we can. But right now we are getting the 6 year, and we're visualizing a little bit 6 years, but only complete mature agave. And when, of course, we have the Tahona, we charge our fermentation baths. We try to obtain our juice between 9 to 11 bricks in order that we could make our fermentation process in a good way.
Yeah, and does it? I know that you mentioned you had a number of ways of fermenting. I mean, is it you doing a blend of stainless steel and wood?
Yes, they run different. The part that we obtain in the Tahona goes all the way good and bad. We add fibers, and the other goes, the part of the roller mill goes direct to the steel fermentation vats.
Okay, I mean that that's amazing notes right there alone. And then how long do you generally age it, and what kind of yeast are you using?
The yeast is natural yeast, so our fermentation lasts a little bit, as you should know.
Yep, absolutely. So you're probably what, 7, 8 days,
It,
maybe a little bit
the,
longer, depending on the
the
weather.
fibers, the fibers, it's a little bit different, but we can say it depends on the time of the year. But we go for 5.5 days to 7 days, more or less.
Okay, and then what do you guys generally when you're running it through? It's double distillation, and again, is it a mixture of stainless steel and copper, and then you do a blend again?
Yes, we start our ordinary process into the with the copper coil steel, and we have the second to obtain tequila into the copper.
Okay, awesome. Well, and that's probably where we're picking all those nice buttery, floral, citrus notes that I absolutely adore in tequilas.
There are some process in order to obtain your final product that you can't skip because you are not obtaining them in another way. Like the small line of the ovens. It's
Hmm.
it's just a little taste that it has, but you can't obtain it in another way.
Yeah. No, and I've tasted many brands where it's all stainless steel, and you just can't achieve these notes that I'm picking up on your tequila. Um, in any shape, fashion, or form. I mean, they're a lot more rougher. They're a lot more edgy. They're a ton hotter, and this is just an amazing. I mean, not only as a mixer, but I mean, this all day long I could sit down and sip underneath the sun and enjoy stuff with my family and friends and great barbecue and whatever else. It is a very, very good, and I would put it similar notes to Ocho. Ocho is a phenomenal, affordable tequila, and there's a lot of similarities that you know maybe a smidge smoother, but I know it also depends on what estate they're pulling from. That could change that a lot. Uh, which brings up another question: are you using single estates, or is it you pulling from many farms?
No, we actually Zumbador is only made. We didn't want to go into single states because I'm looking forward for you to visit, but our state's big, and it's in the same place as the distillery. So our batches are done mostly or all the times by the agave we have in the same property that it's called Las Presas. So it's an eternal single batch. And I want to thank you with the comparison of Ocho. I think we have a lot of work because you went to the top of the mountain. You weren't willing to escalate the things. You went to the top of the mountain.
On the nose and stuff, and Ocho was my entry into going down this rabbit hole that you see behind me, and it's it opened me up, because for years, just like many of us, we started out drinking, Patron, and we thought that was the bomb, and then we started, edging away from it, and then you drink something like Ocho, and then, you know, you don't have that burning sensation on your palate from all the pepper that you do with Patron on their regular Blanco. And this is, to me, has very similar profile, along with those nice citrus floral notes, sweetness, to it, uh, that makes it truly enjoyable just as a sipper as well. So yeah, no, the compliments are to you.
That's amazing. I mean, I think to the point, CJ, of we were talking about this earlier, from my perspective of being able to sell something that is an agave grown and owned product and having full control over that, it's such a special thing to talk about because we're very blessed in the scheme of things. Not everybody has that opportunity, and it's really hard to put a number to how many other tequila producers have that same advantage that we do. So that being said, having that with Zumbador is something we definitely heavily speak about and talk about in our sales pitch and lead with, but also go into the fact of that's where we're putting a lot of our support and effort right now to get the product out there in the market, is all these special things we're doing, the production process being as unique as it is. It's a lot of fun to sell and get behind. To have the reaction from yourself and people like you is, it's special. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it really is a easy sell, when you're introducing your friends to it for the first time. I mean, no matter what level of expertise or aficionado they are, and they've never tried it, and you put it in front of them. Their aromas are amazing, and the flavor is equally as amazing. And it's such a well balanced piece that, I mean, now they're asking where they can get it, and how do they, you know, find it around, or where it's available and so forth. And it's totally easy, and it's one that I'd love to share. In fact, I'll probably be taking some to a tequila event that I got coming up at the end of the month. and sharing it with some more people that hopefully hasn't tried it, and I get to, tell them about it the first time.
Yay.
All right, guys. What else do we have? We have anything else in the works?
We do. Yeah.
Yes, we do. We are going to launch also an overproof. It's going to be our high. It's going to come out at 108.
108. Okay. And your regular is 40?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
48.
And when could we expect that to hit the market?
We're just expecting the labels. It's going to be soon too. But we know, I'm joking about this, all this trip. Please don't take it personal. But I know that you guys have really cold winter, so we have to keep you warm, So we'll take care to have the high proof before Christmas.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah, that'll be awesome. I mean, and I'll be looking forward to that too. 108. That's up there. You're almost at the max limit, so that should keep our belly warm in the winter. And our coffee's just a little bit better.
Just a little bit, tad. Yeah, that's very exciting. What else do we have? No other expressions right now, but just different thing. Like Roberto said earlier, hopefully once we enter the O&D season, at least for Jay and I on our side, the sales planning side of it, we can start building out some programs for next year and getting more involved with the Agave events, Agave clubs, and just doing things like that in order to help spread the love, spread the word on Zumbador. So that should be also very exciting to come for next year.
Awesome. Well, guys, I'm out of questions. If you guys have anything else that you'd like to plug in, you're more than welcome to. It's been an honor to have both of you guys with me. With both of your guys' knowledge and being able to answer pretty much every question that I could think of. Distribution's huge, and with this, the way it's going, it's going to be killer.
It's an honor for us, and you have to put it. This is not the last time.
No, absolutely not. You guys got my phone number. You hit me up anytime you want to talk about anything, and we will make time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, CJ, for having us. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a wonderful Sunday and drink some Zumbador. So cheers. Salud.
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 Salud, CJ. Have a great Sunday.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you, CJ.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.